Yes, people, welcome to the opposition fan view for our fixture this weekend away to Wolves. I've got Dave from Talking Wolves here with me. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, all good, thank you. Thanks for having me, man.
No problem at all. Listen, before we get into the game and your actual feelings around the season so far and the fixture this weekend, I want to ask you about one of our latest arrivals. You'll know him very well. That's Matheus Nunes. City fans are quietly impressed so far with Matheus Nunes. He's shown the signs of someone that could grow into a nice player for us, and he's shown all the trademarks of a player Pep Guardiola likes. So I suppose give us a bit of an insight as someone who's watched him a bit more than us as to what kind of guy he is.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of a player, obviously a very good footballer, a quality footballer. He joined Wolves quite late last summer, so he didn't really have much pre-season with us as a club, and moving to a new country at times it can be a difficult task. But there were certain glimpses of Matheus Nunes last season where we could tell there was a really good footballer there. But for one reason or another, we just probably didn't see that enough in a Wolves shirt, whether that be because of the players that he's playing with, obviously maybe at the quality he wants to be with, whether it's the position that he played in, because he was played out wide quite often as well last season. But I think no Wolves, most Wolves fans can agree that there is definitely a quality footballer in there. Of course, it'll be interesting to see how he's was received when he returns to Molineux this weekend because of how he left the club, missing training sessions. A lot of fans felt he was quite disrespectful with how he forced the move. But in terms of a footballer, I think City have picked up a very good footballer at what could be in the future a very good price.
What kind of reception do you think he'll get? You spoke about the way he left, the manner in which he left, obviously missing training and that, which for us as City fans, we're kind of like, yes, go on, lad. We want to see you pushing to make the move. But I think due to our injury situation, there's a very good chance he'll at least feature, possibly even start. Could there be a hostile reception for Matheus Nunes?
I think it'll be hostile. I think it'll be very hostile, if I'm honest. So I'll be interested in and if he does start, if that affects his game as well. But I think it'll be a very hostile reception for Matheus Nunes. But you're right. We've had certain players over the years skip training with their clubs to join Wolves, and I'm sure you guys have seen it often as well. And you celebrate it when it happens, but it is frustrating and disappointing when it is one of your own players moving elsewhere.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's great for one, it's bad for the other. But I wanna ask you a bit about your season so far. A lot of people tip Wolves to struggle this season, proving a lot of people right now. Unfortunately, says you. I think your one win so far this season has come against Everton. Where has it gone wrong? I suppose for Wolves, like why is it happening the way it is?
It's just lack of consistency throughout the 90 minutes, really. I think, I mean, it doesn't help that we had such a disjointed pre-season in summer. Obviously, Lopetegui leaving like a week before the season started. We sort of ended up with Gary O'Neill, and we went into that game at Old Trafford on our opening day of the season against United thinking, oh, this could be a long evening. And you know what? We surprised ourselves and everyone, really. We gave United a really good game. Probably should have got something out of the game. Was unfortunate not to get a penalty right at the death and ended up losing that game 1-0. Then smashed against Brighton, where we weren't actually bad across the 90 minutes, but we just had 10 minutes of pure stupidity where we let 3 goals in and the game's gone. But I think and I say lack of consistency across the 90 because a couple of weeks ago against Liverpool, first half we were phenomenal. We go in at half time, 1-0 up. And then second half, we just don't replicate anything that we did in the first half and end up losing the game 3-1. So that's the key for Wolves. We've seen at times that we can play at a really good level and threaten teams and score goals, which has been our biggest issue over the last couple of years. But at the same time, being extremely leaky at the back and just stupid individual errors are costing us points, really. And of course, as every team does, we've been disappointed with a few of the refereeing decisions, but it's Gary O'Neill's job now to try and get these players to play at a specific level to try and win some football matches. And he has had a tough start, but there's a lot of pressure on him already, to be honest, as a head coach at the club.
I suppose if there's a lot of pressure on a manager, I'd imagine you think this fixture this Saturday, it's not the one he would want.
Yeah, I don't think so, and I think he's only had 6 league games so far. I think unless you come and get some record breaking win against us at Molineux, I don't think there'll be any more pressure on him, because I think we're just going into this game thinking, we're probably not going to get anything out of it. So it's his job really. If he can get a certain or decent level of performance, he might win a few fans back. But I don't think, either way on Saturday, I don't think he's going to add any more pressure onto himself. But it's not a great time to play City, I suppose, from his point of view.
It's kind of a strange one because even though you've had a very poor start to the season, I still watched you. I told you in the video we just recorded that I watched you in that Liverpool game, and I really felt that Liverpool were there for the taking. I thought you created loads of chances. Neto was unbelievable that day. Cunha really should have scored that goal.
For sure.
And I was saying this is a team that really could cause problems on their day. So it makes me apprehensive about this Saturday. I suppose in isolation for this fixture, we're 6 for 6. You're one win out of 6. How do you feel going into it? I always find it interesting speaking to teams that are fans of teams that are struggling when they play against us, because some of them have really contrasting feelings.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of prior to the season, I used to go into games like this thinking, you know what, it's a free hit. If we just go for it and see what happens. And I always used to have that little feeling in the back of my head saying, we could do this. We could get something from the cities, from Liverpool or whatever. And every now and then, like Liverpool last season, we played them at Molineux. Everyone had written us off and we beat them 3-0 at Molineux, and there were certain games like that. But just for some reason, there's just a resounding negativity at the moment across Wolves fans, Wolves social media. Like going back to Gary O'Neill when Lopetegui gone, I don't think anybody had Gary O'Neill as their first choice, and I think that adds pressure onto him straight away because he's a manager that really nobody wanted at the club. So yeah, I really hope Wolves do shock me, but I think 99% of the ground, or 99% of the Wolves fans there on Saturday are going to sort of go into that stadium knowing that we're probably going to get nothing out of the match.
Yeah, it's a tough position to be in. But I spoke to a Burnley fan when we played against them. I spoke to a Sheffield United fan when we played against them, and they kind of agreed with me when I said that it's almost like, well, you did allude to it, how it's a bit of a free hit. Like no one expects Wolves to get anything from us, so that could be a cue for Wolves to come out and have a go and just express themselves. And like I said, I saw enough on that day where you played against Liverpool to feel like if you did come out and have a go, and we're not in the right mentality or we're not set up correctly, it could be problematic. Like City fans, we do dwell on places and venues there where we've had problems before, and we have had problems at Molineux before. But I suppose as a Wolves fan, if you were to have absolutely any hope, who do you think in your team? Like, is it Cunha, Neto? Who could possibly cause us some problems? Who should we look out for?
I think Neto is the one. He's had a really impressive start to the season. I think it's 5 goal contributions, so 4 goals and 4 assists, and a goal for him already. And it's good for Neto because sort of around when we had the COVID and we were playing behind closed doors, he was one of our best players, and then went into the summer and he had a lot of interest and then got injured. And then last pre-season, he had a really good pre-season. Arsenal wanted him and then he got injured again. But this year it was the same, a really good pre-season. I thought, well, if he can stay fit, he could be an asset, and he's kicked off really, really well. Hwang Ki-chan as well. I think he's got 4 goals already this season in all competitions. So although sort of his all-round game probably, and on the ball, he's not as strong as Neto. In and around the box, he can be deadly at times. So, a little opening for him and he can make things happen. Cunha, I really, really like. It's just not clicked for him so far. You mentioned the chance against Liverpool. We should have gone in at 2-0 up at half time. And I think it's going to be a completely different result then. Against United on the opening day, I thought he was phenomenal. But I've just got a feeling now, and I really hope it doesn't happen, a feeling of almost like Adama Traore with him, where he's phenomenal on the ball, got everything, bar putting that ball in the path of someone or putting the ball in the back of the net. And when we spent 50 million euros or whatever it is on him, we really need to start seeing a return from him sooner rather than later. But the front line are doing okay. They're getting the returns for us, but it's those guys at the back really that need to shore up and hopefully not ship too many goals against City on Saturday.
I think you're possibly getting this fixture at a good time, or one of the best times you could possibly get it at, just simply because of the state of our team right now. Like I know we're winning games and we're playing quite well in that, but it's just the personalities that are missing. De Bruyne, Stones, and the big one obviously is Rodri. I think you know, you as a Wolves fan, you should think there's an opportunity here for you to go and claim some of the midfield. It's what I know. I don't know if you as an opposition fan, you just look at Man City and go, they're just one beast. It doesn't matter. Like they'll be class regardless. But me as a City fan, I do go into each game and go, right, who's available, who's not available, what's this going to mean for the way we play football? I don't know. It's because I spend more time thinking about City than you. But I mean, do you feel any differently about this particular one, considering who we're missing, or is it just like I said, City are just their own beast?
I think we're more looking at Wolves' form and just thinking, like, you know, City, regardless, like you said, they are a beast. You know, whoever Pep puts in there, you know, 9 times out of 10 they're going to do it, you know, extremely good job. I think we went into that Liverpool game a couple of weeks ago thinking, oh, no Van Dijk, Salah might be the only man, and sort of Liverpool at times, like the midfield's a bit disjointed, and we thought we could do something here. But Jurgen Klopp got Gary O'Neill because Klopp, probably using his experience and quality as a manager, made one change at half time. I think he brought Diaz on and completely changed the game, and that's what won them the match. City is obviously the midfield's a little bit different. Obviously, we know Rodri, so it'll be interesting to see if we can win something in that midfield battle. And I'll be intrigued to see if Gary O'Neill goes with 3 in the middle and goes with like a 4-3-3, or we do almost play like a 4-2-3-1, and we've, like, you know, probably going to be Mario Lemina and João Gomez holding. But I think for Wolves, obviously with City, you get the ball to Haaland or Alvarez in and around the area, they're probably going to put it in the back of the net. So it's the job of the centre-backs and the central midfielders to keep City, you know, at bay, and hope the likes of Neto and Co can cause some damage on the counter-attack.
Yeah, a lot of City fans are kind of expecting quietly Calvin Phillips to start against you on Saturday, and he's very much under the microscope. So there's potentially a bit of vulnerability there. But I suppose, listen, I'm not going to lie to you, Dave. As a City fan, I do feel confident about every game. I always have my apprehensions, but I'm always going to back the team. So
Of course.
in terms of my score predictions, you'll have to watch chat. You'll have to watch the full preview I do with Jordan. But Dave, I'm going to get your score prediction off you. I always find this really interesting. Like when we play against a Big Six team, they always back themselves because they have to, you know, show some chest. But the lower half of the table teams, I always find it interesting asking their fans score predictions.
I'll do a head and a heart one. My heart is saying that we're just going to stink the place out and get a 0-0 draw. But my head is probably going to say, I think City will win this one 3-0, to be honest. I think it should be. I really hope Wolves prove me wrong, but I think it's going to be a comfortable afternoon for City.
I'll take that any day. I'm going to the game, and I don't know what to expect from Molyneux. So if I walk away with a 3-0 win, mate, I will be absolutely buzzing. But listen, Dave, it's been an absolute pleasure. Do you want to tell the people your channel, where they can find you, how they can support you, all that good stuff?
Yeah, so we're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Talking Wolves. And if you want to catch me on my personal channels, it's at Dave As a Party. But yeah, thanks for having me on, lads. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem at all. Listen, go over to Dave's channels, show him some support, let him know City Extra sent you. We like to, you know, show love and appreciate all of our great guests that we get on. So do go and show him some support. And listen, leave all of your thoughts down below in the comments on everything Dave said about Wolves. He gave us some great insight there on what we can expect. Smash a like on this video if you would. Massively helps us here grow the channel on the road to 100K. And subscribe if you're new to help us out as well. And we'll see you in a bit. Nice one, Dave, mate.
Perfect.